Alright, we're back in the dorm room and it's time to make videos that are not about the new year. Hello lovely people, my name is Nicole and today I am doing the Totally Should've book tag. This was created by Emma Books. I will link her original video in the doobly-doo, and this is about things that should have happened with books that didn't. So let's waste no time and just jump right in. The first question is totally should have gotten a sequel. For this I'm gonna go with The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I love this book. It is probably maybe just second to Vampire Academy, my favorite vampire book that I've ever read, and I went through a huge vampire phase, so that is saying something. But the way this book leaves off, I don't want to spoil anything, but it totally sets up for a sequel. And after I finished it, I searched for hours and nothing. So far as I can tell, Holly Black is not planning a sequel for this book, and it breaks my heart. The next category is totally should have gotten a spin-off series, and for that I'm gonna go with The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. This is another one that no spoilers, but the way that this series left off, there are so many different directions that a spin-off series could go in. There are so many different characters it could follow. I'm really tempted to say which characters in particular I think could use a spin-off series, but I don't want to spoil anything. Basically, if you've read the last book, then you'll know like sort of the main characters that are left that go off and to do things that we're sort of vaguely told what they're doing but not told specifics. I'm really interested in seeing how that works out for them and what they go on to do later in life. Question number 3 is an author who totally should write more books, and for this I'm gonna go with Tess Sharp, the author of Far From You. This was a fantastic book. I read it this month and I absolutely fell in love with it. Everything from the writing style to the characters to the relationships. And this is Tess Sharp's only book, which is tragic because it's so good, and she is so good at writing queer girl relationships. It was absolutely brilliant. Beautiful, beautiful writing, like intense, gripping thriller aspects, and I just want more of her writing because it's amazing. Category number 4 is a character who totally should have ended up with someone different. I don't have one for this. I consider myself to be a generally pretty easy to please reader, and I'm also pretty good at picking the right person in a love triangle. So the combination of I'm just good at picking romantic pairings, I guess, in books, and I generally just tend to sort of go with how the main character's feeling at the time, means that I'm usually pretty happy with how the love triangles end up. So while there are a couple series that I'm currently still waiting to see who ends up with who, and maybe in the future I'll have an answer for this question, for now, I'm happy. The next question is a book that totally should have ended differently. This is going to be a spoilery one. So the book is Eleanor and Park. If you have not read Eleanor and Park, leave now. The spoiler thing that's right here will go away when I'm done talking about it. So from a sort of literary perspective, I love the ending of Eleanor and Park. I think it's brilliant. I think it's such a great sort of like cliffhanger-y, life goes on type thing. And like, I totally respect Rainbow Rowell's choice to have it be really ambiguous and not tell us what the 3 words on that goddamn piece of paper are. From a reader perspective, and just like a person with emotion perspective, oh my god, it's painful. I want to know that Eleanor and Park are gonna live happily ever after. I want to know what those goddamn 3 words are. I hurt in my soul. And so like, I get the ending, I respect the ending, but I would not complain if there was an alternate ending. Question number 6 is totally should have had a movie franchise. For this, I'm gonna go with Percy Jackson. There was kind of a movie for the first 2, but let's be real here. We all know that that movie barely paid attention to what was going on in the books. They were not accurate. It just, the movies were so poorly done, and it's so upsetting because these could have been amazing movies. I think if they'd done these movies well, they could have been like the next big thing. They could have been the next like Hunger Games, Twilight-sized fan craze. So disappointing. Question 7 is totally should have gotten a TV show. And for this, I'm gonna go with the Alex Rider series by Anthony Horowitz. This is a middle grade spy series. They made the first one into a movie starring Alex Pettyfer and a whole bunch of like super famous actors. Seriously, look up the cast list on IMDb. It is insane. Unfortunately, the movie totally flopped and they didn't bother making any more. But this is such a fun, like, action-packed series, and the combination of there being so many books and just the way that it's set up would lend itself so well to a TV show. Next question is totally should have had only one point of view. For this, I'm gonna go with Breaking Dawn by Stephenie Meyer. So throughout the entire series, we have just one narrator, Bella, and then all of a sudden for, like, the middle chunk of Breaking Dawn, Jacob's the narrator, and it totally comes out of nowhere. It feels weird, and it makes no sense, and it makes the entire thing confusing, and I don't like it. I just think this book would have made a lot more sense and been a lot more just like direct and streamlined without Jacob's point of view. Next question is totally should have had a cover change. Surprise, surprise! Vampire Academy and Bloodlines. Look at them. They're so bad, and Vampire Academy had a cover change and it wasn't any better. I don't think it was any worse. It certainly wasn't better. Oh, it's so sad. These books are so good and the covers are so bad. Somehow the Bloodlines covers are even worse. It's sad. It's really just sad. Next is totally should have kept the original covers. For this, I'm gonna go with the Shades of London series by Maureen Johnson. The cover of the first book is honestly what made me pick it up. I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. It completely caught my eye in the store before I even heard of Maureen Johnson in any other context. It's beautiful. Look at this cover. It's gorgeous. And then they changed to this. And like, I know there are a number of people who kind of like this cover style. It's a similar style to what the Diviners changed to, but I don't like it. I think it looks really cheesy. And the last question is totally should have stopped at book 1. But the one I'm picking for this is The Maze Runner, because I liked the first book. I really did. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And then we left the maze, and the entire tone of the series changed. Like, the vibe changed, the characterization changed. Suddenly, I think the author pulled like a complete 180 on who he wanted Thomas to end up with. And the other books, they just got like worse and worse. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the totally should have book tag. Note, these are just like my opinions. If you disagree, that is perfectly valid. You know, to each their own. But please let me know what you think about these questions in the comments below. I love you, and I will see you later.